Hey, yo, what it do? It's your boy Rue, and welcome back to Reality. It's been a whole month and a half that I've been gone, but I am here today with a very special guest. I want him to introduce himself. Let us know what you about, where you from, what you doing.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? It's Saemo. I am from Lawrence, Massachusetts, originally from New York. So you'll hear some of that.
That New York accent.
You know what I'm saying, dog?
It's what?
Couldn't shake it if I tried. But yeah, man, just dropped the album, working on a lot of music, working on art and all sorts of just dope content, you know what I mean?
Work. And we're going to get into Kintsugi.
Kintsugi, yes.
Yeah, I was about to say King Tusi. But I want to go back. I like to start with everyone. Tell us a little bit about how you started with music, how you got into it, your influences, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, man. I've been making music since I think I wrote my first verse when I was in 8th grade. It was a little diss rap, you know, right around the time 8 Mile dropped and everybody was rapping.
Mom spaghetti.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it really became like therapy for me, man. You know, I came from one of those households where like it was abusive, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
But like once I moved down to Florida for like 2 years, you know, I was removed from my environment. I really had no friends. My mom's wasn't even there. I was just kind of with my grandparents, and that was my expression, bro. It was like, let me write verses, let me download these beats off Kazaa, and let me see what I can freestyle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it started with the battle raps, bro. I used to just battle every day at school, and then I'd come home and I'd started writing. And once I started writing, I couldn't sleep because I'd close my eyes and all I could see was words, and I haven't really stopped.
Okay, because you do have an interesting flow. You can tell that it's very well developed. I like that you like to try different things with your sound. It's not so similar all the time. All the songs on this project definitely sound way different.
Yeah.
There's some singing going on. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Now, let's go back to your first project. What was your first project even about? Do you remember that moment
man.
that you were like, my first project is done, I'm releasing this?
Yeah, man. I mean, you mean for like first solo project or
Yeah.
just like first project in general?
I mean, you can go into both, actually.
Because I had moved back to Lawrence from, like, I spent 2 years in Florida. I came back to the law, and I reconnected with a couple homies, and they were like, yo, you know, we're in this program. It's called Movement City. It's a creative arts program. Like, there's a studio.
Shout out
there.
Movement, shout out.
Shout out Movement.
This is Movement City. We're actually
Yeah,
filming
we
in
the house.
Movement City.
We
so
in the house, much love. But yeah, they brought me over and they were like, yo, we got this little group called ROA, the Rebels of Art. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I've been rapping too.
ROA. Y'all hear that name? ROA, Rebels
Yeah,
of Art.
Rebels
Okay.
of Art. So I met up with the homie Elvis, and we kind of hit it off, bro. And they auditioned me on a verse. They gave me 16 bars on the track. I bodied it, and then you know, it's been the same crew since. And we dropped the whole album called Feel No Evil. It was me, Melks, and Elvis. Shout out to the homie
Those are
Melks.
those are all powerful game
Yeah,
players
man,
in this city.
Those are my brothers, bro, from day one. But yeah, we dropped that project together, and then you know we did a whole second album that never released. And after that, you know, we all kind of went our own little separate ways. I linked up with the homie Cobra Clutch and my man Stain One, and we dropped I Believe in Harvey Uncouth, which was
Harvey Uncouth.
yeah, man, it was a 9-track mixtape.
Whoa. Okay, go
Yeah.
Harvey Uncouth. Let's break that down. Let's dissect that.
Yeah, so to me it was still like it wasn't very much in the vein of like that rebel mentality.
Okay.
And I've always been the uncouth one, you know what I'm saying? Like in the family, I've been the black sheep. I've always been like the one who's had Dominicans say no tiene pelo en la lengua. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So
I could attest
you can
to
relate,
that.
you know what
I
I'm
could
saying?
attest to that.
So to me, it was like uncouth just became like such a good word for it. And obviously my name's Harvey, so I was like, yo, Harvey Uncouth is kind of like this character that comes out in these moments. So
Interesting. So it started off as Harvey, and then how did we get to Saemo?
So Saemo, man, I love Saemo. Saemo's such a dope progression. Saemo, it means a couple different things to me. But my favorite artist in like visual art is Jean-Michel Basquiat. So back in the day, before he became known for his name, he used to tag up walls in the city of New York. So when he would tag, he would always hit them with like these ill political statements.
Yeah.
And he would sign it Saemo Saemo. and it was him and his
Okay.
boy. So there was two of them going around the city, and every time they would just call out these, these moments in history, and like, like the cops are still whooping our ass, same old type shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay.
So to me, Saemo was like, all right, bro, like here's a chance to kind of pay homage to that and give it your own little flavor. He tagged it Saemo, and I added an E in mine because people kept calling me Samo, and I was like, nah, bro, it's not that.
Leave it to the Latinos.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I put the E in there, and it breaks down to a couple different meanings for me. But I also have the crown tattooed on my joint, so it felt natural. You know what I mean? Same old the third, like why not?
Okay, so Harvey Uncouth, 9 tracks.
9
sorry.
tracks. I believe in Harvey Uncouth, yeah, and it was
Do you still remember those lyrics?
Oh hell yeah, bro! That album is hard, kid. That
Okay,
album is hard.
okay.
We dropped that in
Where
2013.
can that be heard?
Yeah, man. Samo. You can find that on Bandcamp. So it's bandcamp.com/Samo, and that's the
That's
project
SAEMO.
Yep. SAEMO. 9-track project. My man Stain One and my man Cobra Clutch.
So wait, that was
produced the whole
recent,
thing.
you said?
That was 2013.
Oh,
So
2013. Not too bad.
It's been a little bit. But yeah, it's 9 tracks, and it all features like Batman samples. Like we went into the Dark Knight,
Okay.
which is my favorite movie, and I was just like, I watched it and just took notes, and I was like, yo, all of these statements, like we need to put it in the project some way, somehow. So
That's pretty dope. To
yeah,
be able to take reference from the movies and put it into this.
Yeah, like they're straight up in there. Like the last song on there, it ends, and then Heath Ledger's Joker comes in. You hear the theme, and he'll be like, "You gotta have an ace in the hole," and mine's Harvey, and I'm like, "Money," you know what I mean? Like that's how we ended it. But yeah, so we sampled a lot of that movie into that project.
Okay, so from 2013 to 2021, obviously life has happened.
Lot of life.
Talk through a little bit of what that struggle or what that beauty was like growing through that process.
Yeah, man. So I mean, a lot's happened. In my personal life, I've been through so many ups and downs in that time frame. My babies and shifting my focus to like being a dad.
He's a dad.
I am.
He's
I got 2
dad.
little babies. Well, one of them's 11, so not that little, but
She's still a baby.
yeah. But we were, I really shifted into that mode, and I would still make music, but just through a different lens, because I understood the gravity of my words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, it was
I'm
like,
sure that changes the perception just a little bit.
Yeah, man, a little bit. But for me, like I've never stopped working. I have had some health issues where like, I had a hard time breathing. Like one of my lungs was kind of like messed up for a little bit.
Wow.
So I was like, yo, I can't really record to the level I want to record at. But I was always writing. So I have legit at least an album of like a full length album a year since 2013.
Great point. About to be my next question. Okay,
Yes,
go.
haven't stopped. Kintsugi's just the latest offering, but Kintsugi is also one of a 3-part series that I call the Gallery series. So Kintsugi's just episode 1.
Concepts. Y'all know I love concepts.
Yes. So
Make it make sense, please.
We get deeper, man. Episode 2 and episode 3 are currently in creation mode right now. But yeah, man, I've been working, bro. I got a lot in the vault.
I think that's pretty dope. I think one thing I've always noticed about you is if you ever see Harvey, he's spitting something. You're just sitting there like, okay, nobody knows this many songs. So, but he's just freestyling off the dome, like just saying things out of the random, making it make sense. I think everyone at Movement City can attest to that.
Yeah, man. Well, life imitates art, and art imitates life. So they go hand in hand.
You designed all your album artwork, which is kind of becoming a common theme amongst the artists that we're bringing on board. I love the whole branding behind this project in particular with I don't know how to properly say this, but it's kind of like the stained glass look. Like,
yeah.
I love the artwork behind it. I love that there's animations and movement. I think the project itself, this is my first project of yours that I've heard, and it seems very like there was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of that you needed to get off your chest, that you were just like, yo, this is what I've been going through. This is where I'm at right now. I'm so used to the camera being here, so the whole time I've been looking here, and I'm like, there's not a camera there. We're working on one camera, y'all. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Liz.
Shout out to Liz, yo.
Liz is like, I'll stay and help. She didn't have a choice. And then, so yeah, this project itself, there's a lot of emotion behind it. The lyrics are kind of deeper.
Facts. That's one of the tracks on there, Deeper.
Facts. You have a couple features. Let's go through that.
Oh yeah, so many features, man. Yo, shout out to everyone that came out and made this album possible, bro. From the key players who like gave me a studio space to come in and lock in and work with me and help me produce and create and bring my vision to life. So Ryan Boley, I see y'all, man. Much love. And yo, all the features, man. It was, again, to me, it was a labor of love. There was this like underlining little checkbox that I wanted to hit where I was like, yo, I'm gonna get at least a soundbite from every original ROA member.
Okay.
So like Melks made a beat. I got Elvis on one of the tracks.
Oh, we heard Elvis. We know you watching.
Shout out to my man, Big R, Reno, man. Love you, bro. Came through, blessed it on Gravity. My boy Leary pulled up. You know, I got all the love in the world for my boy Leary. That's my homie, man. My Padawan.
He calls you his sensei.
Yeah, that's my Padawan.
And yeah, we interviewed Leary.
Yeah, definitely interviewed Leary. Leary's on the scene, man. You know, I have a lot of love for Leary. Him and I connected musically like from day one, and then they shipped us out to California for a little bit, and that's where we ended up coming up with the concept for Demons, and then he took it and turned that into something beautiful.
Backstory, I love backstory.
That was amazing. So it was great to connect with him on that. On Regalia, my man Andre X pulled up and did some ghost vocals in the back, so nobody even knows it's him. But yo, shout out to Andre, bro. He killed that.
That's why he said he didn't clear the phone.
Yes, that's he was like, yo, I didn't get my feature, bro. I was like, yo, you told me it don't even count as a feature. But yo, my love to Andre, bro. That dude's he's the realest. Who else is on there? My homegirl Queen
yes.
Mario. So much love for Queen. She pulled up, blessed it.
Bia.
And Bia, man.
Annie.
Bia pulled up. Yeah, the homegirl Annie. You know, I hit her up on the Lolo, and I was like, yo, I know you a poet, and I have this crazy track. I want a spoken piece.
When I saw that, I was like, Annie, you better go off this.
Yeah, man. Everybody I love, man. My whole family's on there. You know what I'm saying? And even my wife's on there. If you hear Gravity, that's that second part on the breakdown, where she's like, "I love you." That's her. Like she sent me a voice clip, and I threw it on the album. Shout out to my wife. Love you.
Yes.
So many dope features and collaborations, man. It was really dope.
You can definitely tell that it has a very like homey feel. As I was listening to it, I was like, this just sounds like one, established. Two, it sounds like you really did take a risk. You really brought it into a whole different direction. Again, I've seen you perform at open mics. I've heard some of your stuff, and I'm like, wow, this guy, like, he really raps. He doesn't just, he really does, rap.
I'm very, like, a lot of people like, yo, this dude's a rippity rapper, you know what I'm saying? And it's true, man. I mean, those are my origins, like, I fell in love with hip-hop.
He's always talking about that, though.
In, like, the 3rd or 4th grade, I think the Rough Riders Anthem came out. I was walking to school. I lived in the Bronx. And I heard that, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then I'd go home to Queens to see my dad, and my cousins were like, yo, here's Illmatic. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this shit's amazing. So, I've been engulfed in it, man. I come from the Mecca of hip-hop. So to me, it's like I make it a point to, like, go hard when I spit. All my other albums is really that.
So, yeah, you grew up in New York. We're talking a little bit about New York.
Yeah, so New York, man, it's the Mecca of hip-hop, bro. And, like, in my brain, it's always been, like, you got to go hard, dog. You got to go hard. Ain't no opportunities to, like, slack, because every bar counts. Every verse matters.
And in New York, I feel like people really listen to the bars. Like,
right. And
other places, you kind of just need a catchy phrase. But over there, they're like, nah, we're going to listen to this verse.
Yeah, we're going to listen to the verse. We're going to see the pictures you paint, the emotions you portray. So in a lot of my other works, it really has been, like, conscious MCing and just, like, spitting and, like, coming up with, like, ill word plays and double entendres. And I still have all of that on Kintsugi. But Kintsugi came from, like, literally me stepping out of the box. And, like, my sister heard it, and she hit me up, and she was like, yo, it's a love album. I had no idea that it was
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
that.
what I was saying. Like, there's emotion
what?
behind it.
Like this shit is crazy. And I was like, yeah,
Like,
you
there's
know.
soft ballad. Like, I was like, you're singing a little bit on something?
I'm singing on some
A little
joints.
sign
I'm
on
singing
there.
some joints, you know. And I mean, I love the album because I wrote 99.5% of it. The only thing I didn't write on that album is the hook on Pieces, which Elvis actually pulled up and wrote. And then I was like, yo, if you gonna write it, nigga, you singing it. So you hear him
Elvis
singing.
is singing on it.
You know,
That's-
you hear him
that's- this
singing
is
on
true.
there. And
I was
he's backing up.
I was surprised by that.
I'm not, man. I mean,
You got a McFly? You got a McFly verse on there?
Yo, listen, I have so much McFly shit that y'all haven't heard. It's
First
not
of all,
even
he's going to be like,
fun.
stop calling me McFly.
No, he's not. No, he's gonna be there like with a big ass grin on his mouth, like, yo, but I'm retired. And yeah, you know, it's all gravy, but you know, your boy's the only one that could pull you out there. So, it's all good, man. You know, it was a lot of love, bro. It was a labor of love. Like another collaboration that I really love. My homegirl Day, bro. Dejanada, bro. She pulled up
With,
Day.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Day.
Day. So I hit her up and I was like, yo, Day. So I have this idea. I'm working on an album called Kintsugi. Kintsugi means it's a Japanese art where they take broken pottery and they piece things back together using
That
gold.
was going to be my next question. What does
You
that
know?
mean? Okay.
Yeah, so they use gold to kind of put things back together. It's designed to like highlight the cracks and find beauty in the things that broke you. You know what I mean? So I hit her up and I was like, yo, can you paint a heart for me? And I want a Kintsugi heart, you know, like a heart being pieced back together with gold. And the heart that you see on the cover, she painted, like that's hand painted. And she sent me like a picture of it from her phone. And she's like, what do you think? And I was like, yo, I love it. And then, you know, I threw it in Photoshop and then I do what I do. And I built the rest of it.
Wow.
But yeah, man, that was, once I saw the image, I was like, all right, bro, like I got a visual, like I got to make something deep. So it also pushed me to kind of like step out of my comfort zone and like really rap about some shit that like, you know, I don't normally talk about, you know, the feelings that I myself have a difficult time even sitting down and like having conversations about, you know. So it was a lot of meditation and, you know, I went in.
I could hear that too. While I was listening, I'm like, I know this nigga he not a soft nigga. So I'm like, whoa.
But, you know, it's
the vulnerability.
Yeah, man. And I mean, Deeper, the reason I love Deeper was the first song I wrote for the album. But on Deeper, it really kind of sums it all up. Like sometimes I want to cry, but I can't find the tears. You know what I mean? Like that's the hook on that record. And I kind of just dive into it. And, you know, a lot of it was like, yo, I'm with someone who really sees me for me. And like, she has my back through thick and thin. You know what I'm saying? And she sees me fall apart and she's able to put the pieces back up and put me together and like cheer me on and like, you know, have my back. And it just inspired me to want to create, you know. And on Deeper, like I go into the whole concept of like what it is to be a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm a dad who grew up, you know, without my dad in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad lived down in Jersey. So like my dad was always there for me as much as he could, but always like it was over the phone. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't there in and out. He couldn't see my face to know like what was happening with me or like, you know, reading between the lines like that. So like, it was important to like write the record and really like express that, you know, and be like, yo, like I gotta be a father for my children. I want to be better. I want to be here. You know what I mean? And like, what does this mean to me? You know? So like that record really goes into all of that, you know? And it's deep as shit, man. I love that. That record is one of my favorite records, and a lot of people won't sit through it because it's long as shit. It's like 5 minutes and some change. But yeah, that record got some gems on it.
All right. Now, I'm just going to ask you a couple spitfire questions. Dream collab.
Oh, man. I mean, he don't do collaborations, but that nigga Lupe Fiasco is like at the top of my list.
Okay. So Lupe Fiasco. Okay. So top inspiration in music.
Sound-wise or
Sound-wise?
lyrical-wise?
Let's do sound-wise and then lyrical-wise.
Because sound-wise, probably Kanye, man. Like he's just so well versed in everything, and he's got all the styles kind of on lock, and the soulfulness in his production is just ridiculous.
And then lyrically.
Lyrically, I mean, even if I wanted it, like I can't. It's undeniable to me, but it is Nas. Nas is like my dude, you know, hometown hero. Like all day. Nas and Lupe, those two motherfuckers are like.
Have they ever collabed? No.
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay. It's just some things are too good to be true.
Yeah. Lupe got a song called King Nas though.
The olive branch.
It's not even about Nas. It's about his nephew.
It's just the olive branch.
It's about his nephews.
Please, Nas, call Lupe.
He's got two nephews. I think one of them's named King and the other one's named Nas. So the song's called King Nas.
So how many songs are in the vault? Off the top of your head. Everybody gets asked how many songs are in the vault.
Too many?
No, just a round off number.
Well, I can tell you, like, I write at least an album a year. And Kintsugi was the shortest one that I
writes
wrote.
an album a year, spits an album a day.
Easily. I would say, like, I have an album I wrote called Pyramid Schemes that I never released. That album has like 32 songs on it. So there's like, it depends on the album.
I've been struggling on one song for the past 2 years.
Yeah, there's easily, like, my notepad in my phone has like 500 plus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
So there's work. There's work available.
And there's shit that I haven't even seen that like lives in notebooks, like that I haven't touched in years.
Wow.
Yeah, like I write every day, man. Every day I do it.
Wow. All right. Anything you want to close us out with? Any message you want to send? Any shout outs you want to give?
Yo, again, yeah, just shout out to the whole team, man. Key players, everybody on the album. Much love. I really appreciate y'all.
It really came out to be a really dope project, I must say.
Bia came through and blessed the shit out of that record. Yo, so much love for Bia. Thank you, sis. And everybody else, man. Just check out the album. Kintsugi is on all digital streaming platforms. And yeah, man, keep an eye out. We got part 2 coming. It's not called Kintsugi part 2. I promise you that. There's a whole nother title and a whole nother.
What's your IG? What's your IG?
My
there's
IG,
2. What's the one you want us to go to?
My music one, please. That's Saemo.Emmcee. Saemo Emmcee. Follow that joint.
And then there's a performance coming up. So by the time this episode drops, if I drop it when I want to drop it, the performance will be this upcoming Saturday.
Yeah, at the Spigot River Brewery.
Hey, check it out. Because the last time he performed at Spigot River Brewery, the music stopped. This was epic. And I got it on film. The music stopped, kept spitting, didn't stop, didn't hiccup, literally was just like, it was like he didn't even notice. It was just like, the music comes back on and he's right on beat.
Yeah.
We all lost it. We were like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, man. When you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
I'm not even exaggerating. I have it all on video.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I do, bro. Like I said, this is my shit. This is my
Because if it was me, I would have been like, yo, we got to do it again.
Like, making music is it for me, man. All the other stuff I do is just, on the way to getting to where I want to be. But this music shit is my heart.
The journey's different for everyone,
This music shit's my heart, bro. Like, I do it all day, every day. I do it for free, bro. So, you love it when you do it for free. Like,
that's a fact. That's a fact. All right, I'm going to close this out. I want to thank you for coming on. This has been an interview that we've been trying to set up since August. Obviously, I've been on a hiatus right now. But he reminded me, he's like, yo, when are we doing the interview? I'm like, you did just release a project. Let's get to work. Shout out to Movement City for letting us film here. I really appreciate it. Shout out Liz, who's joining us today.
Sure.
And y'all already know, it's Rue Zalez, and I'm blasting off.
Same old, bro. Love y'all. Peace.